What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Jamar84 here once again, darling. Yes. So, shout out to those of you who watched the previous version of these the animated horror stories. A few people left some comments, and people were very excited that the series was coming back. So, I implore you, if you have not seen the previous version, please go on the channel and check it out. I would greatly appreciate it. Share it, comment, do all the fun things of that nature. So somebody had DM'd me on Instagram, which by the way, the information should be in the bottom. Follow me on Instagram at Jamar84. That when was the next one coming? And I was like, okay, you know what? It's time. I'm ready to get the next installment out. Oop, almost fucked up. So this first video is just called Two Disturbing Horror Stories. So I guess this is just a general. So we're just gonna see how it goes. I think these are gonna be more in the traditional sense as opposed to the last two that was like the cult and the what was that last one? The Lord, my mind is leaving me. The door in the woods. That's what it was. And if a couple people have commented me on or hit me up on social media saying that how familiar they were with the stories, and they sent me the links to the stories, so I'm gonna have to check those out later. But be that as it may, let's get into this video child with these horror stories. Let me get my mind right for the bullshit. Oh Lord.
Over the weekend, about 15 coworkers and myself had our company trip to the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, known for being Stephen King's inspiration for The Shining. We took an 8 p.m. ghost tour where we joined about 15 other people to get guided around the property and told stories about its history and creepy things that are said to have happened. We were told to take a lot of pictures, I'm sure to try and capture orbs or ghosts. Many green orbs were caught in pictures, but I don't think anything is as creepy as this photo taken by my coworker. A little girl in a hot pink dress who was definitely not on our tour. And apparently, years ago, a young girl who was 12 to 13 by the name of Lucy was squatting in the basement of the concert hall, which is where this photo...
Girl. Already. See, The Shining. Let me tell you something. I've never actually seen The Shining. I've just seen the previews of The Shining, and that was enough for me to be like, no, ma'am. And whenever it comes to these scary movies and these little girls, it's always some little girl that was in this freak accident many years ago. Her spirit's haunting the place. I don't know what it is about children that makes stories so much more eerie and scary. I don't know what it is, especially little girls. They don't do it too often with little boys. Every now and then, but something about little girls and like the laugh and cry of little girls makes shit scarier.
was taken, and she was discovered upon plans to begin some construction. She was forced to leave, and the night got below freezing, so she froze to death. Everyone on my tour has vouched that this girl was not on our tour. I mean, who wouldn't remember someone wearing hot pink? The man pictured as our tour guide, no one would have been in front of him. I am convinced that this is the ghost of Lucy. Just one more added note, though I doubt anyone would believe me. But there was only one time throughout the tour where I felt any strange energy or feeling. And it was right there, headed down to the basement of the concert hall.
What? Oh, girl. What the
What's
fuck?
that? Plain white sauce? Plain white sauce makes your teeth go grey.
What the fuck is this? I'm confused. Is this like an interlude or something? I'm confused.
Hi, I'm Billy Swift, and I'm here to tell you about Quid. Quid is an awesome app where you can
Oh,
collect
no, they're
stickers,
not.
gifts, pop figures, and so much
No,
more for
they are
free.
not.
Quid has tons of
Nope.
stickers from
Child, I do apologize for the fact they actually put the ad Not like, you know, on YouTube where you can skip it. They actually put it as a part of their video on their products. I'm dead. But it looks like we're back to the actual scary story, so let's continue.
A few weeks ago when I was walking home from school, excited that my freshman year was coming to an end. It was a Tuesday night when I was turning in my last essay for history. I left it to the last minute and the teacher actually made me complete it before I could go home. I hated my teacher for that. Around 8 p.m., I had finished that goddamn essay and was walking home. The rain had stopped and there was a beautiful sunset. Suddenly, I noticed something. There was a red 2016 Toyota Camry right behind me. I got goosebumps thinking it was following me. I didn't look back and started walking in my apartment's direction. I wanted to go to a busy road to feel safer. Just then, the car sped up, stopping right next to me. A middle-aged man asked me where I was headed and suggested to drop me off. I said,
Nope. Absolutely the fuck not. I ain't getting in your car, strange man. I have two perfectly capable feet that I can put one in front of the other and get to my destination. Thank you. Okay, but here's the thing. When it comes to being followed, if you fear that you're being followed, and you'll see this a lot of times, depending on, of course, where you are, never actually head in the direction of where you live. Okay? If you can, head to the direction of a police station. Okay, that'll be sure to scare somebody off. Or just especially like if you're driving, just take random roads and just wind, well, not really random. Don't be stuck off nowhere. But just take, go in there on the block, still know where you're going, just see if this person gonna follow you, but do not under any circumstances let these people know where you live. Take any route you can before you can look back and kind of recognize that you're not being followed, then you can go home. But hopefully this person does the smart thing and declines the offer to go, and let's just see where this goes.
said no thanks, but the man wouldn't leave and insisted. I wanted to tell the man to just fuck off, but I took off running instead. I heard a loud noise and at the same time felt something I can only describe as a sharp vibration hitting my flesh. I fell to the ground not knowing what happened. Out of adrenaline, I was about to get up and run again as I felt a heavy arm grab me by the mouth. Then the pain set in. I realized that I was shot. There was another man next to him that searched my pockets. He grabbed my phone and threw it on the ground as he tied my legs and taped my mouth. They quickly put me.
Okay, again, girl, if you can avoid it, of course. This man was staying late to do some essay. First of all, I just thought about that. He said that he left the school at 8 p.m., walking home. What kind of teacher are you to encourage and force a student to stay in your classroom to finish an assignment up until 8 p.m. and have that person or have that student who's young, somebody more than likely below the age of 18, walking home by themselves at 8 o'clock? You, as the teacher, since y'all already together, should have offered to drop that student off. You don't have no student walking home after dark when the street lights is on for doing some dumb essay. Oh no. Oh no. And then if you do walk home, and of course, people have circumstances. If you do walk home, have some sort of a weapon, brass knuckle at the bare minimum. If it's nothing but a sharp pencil, have something. Because otherwise, you know, but he did try to go on a busy street, but child, that ain't gonna be enough half the time.
Into the trunk of their car and then started driving. I could feel that we were going very fast, and I'm sure that we hadn't stopped at all for a good 30 minutes. I was feeling my blood soaking into my shirt, which scared me the most. I was certain that I was going to die. I was thinking about my parents and what they would feel when they heard that I was missing. Then the car came to a stop. By some miracle, I heard a police officer asking for IDs and driver's licenses. I wanted to yell for help, but nothing came out. Just then, I heard 3 to 4 gunshots. I heard another cop yelling,
Man down! Man down! Shots fired!
I was begging the cop to find me. Then I heard the cop searching the car. I was feeling joy as my pain was growing worse. Seconds felt like hours. The officer then opened the car's trunk and suddenly started firing at me out of a fight or flight response.
What the fuck? Oh, wait. That is not that is not the reaction I thought he was about to get. You mean to tell me that the cop opened the trunk and just started blowing you out? Like, wait, wait. Why he pull up the thing and start shooting? Did he think somebody was hiding in there?
Thankfully, the bullets missed. The officer quickly caught up to the fact that I was kidnapped and injured. He called for backup immediately, and it arrived in minutes.
Okay, I guess homeboy thought somebody was hiding there and they was about to jump him, so he just started, cat right off the bat. But still, like, can, can you imagine the emotion of what your mindset is? First of all, you've already been shot, you've already been kidnapped, so you already disorientated like a mofo. And then for you to feel the joy, be like, oh my God, I'm actually about to get saved. And they lift up that trunk and start boo 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 boo. Baby, I would be pissed.
They placed the injured officer onto a gurney and drove off in an ambulance. Finally, when the scene was safe, they called another ambulance for me. I woke up in the hospital. The news media was everywhere. I was fine after a few days, but later learned that the officer that was shot didn't make it. I don't know if those men are still alive or rotting away in a prison for killing an officer. I don't want to know what would have happened if those officers hadn't stopped the car.
Honey, again, y'all gotta be careful out here, because there are crazy people out here who will do this shit to you. Thankfully, you had an officer there that, did his job in protecting you. Unfortunately, had to lose his life. So, there are some good cops still left out there. So, let's move on to the next one, child. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. This is the second of the 3 videos that we're going to do in this particular video. A bus stop horror story, child. I don't already trust public transportation as it is. True T. So, I'm already on edge.
This happened when I was 17 years old. I would go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week and ride the bus home. It was a Sunday and I had just missed my bus, so I had to wait longer for another one. I would have called my parents, but they were out for the evening, and taxis charged more, so I decided to sit and wait in the bus shelter. It was a cold night and snow had just started peppering the ground. My bus was taking longer than usual, so I got...
He already fucked up, and let me tell you why. He's already fucked up, and let me tell you why. Okay, yes, you missed your bus. Your parents are a little for letting you be out this late by yourself. You didn't really specify how old you were, but if you talk about you still staying with your parents, more often likely to believe that you're young. So when you're alone and by yourself at a bus stop, especially if it's at night like this, do not do what he's doing and put your earphones in. Okay? Because you need to be able to, especially if you're alone, you need to be able to hear and be aware of all your motherfucking surroundings. Because if somebody want to jump up on you and yank, stabby stab, all that type thing, if they want to rob you, it'd be so much easier to just walk up on you because you can't hear them coming because you playing Beyonce. You playing brown skin girl. So, yeah, if you by yourself, don't do this. Don't do this. Because that gives people incentives to want to rob you because they feel like they can sneak up on you because you're not paying attention.
my phone out and listened to some music. Almost an hour had passed. It was freezing and I hadn't seen anyone at all. That was until I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. It was a creepy guy dressed in thick layers of clothing, walking slowly towards me.
Oh, uh-uh.
I knew staring at him would draw more attention, so I just focused on my phone. He sat down at the other end of the shelter and just
This is another thing. I hate encounters like this. I hate being close knit in public places because there be odd people, no shade. There be odd people who will sit, next to you, try to conversate with you. They haven't bathed. They smelling funky. They're creepy. I'm trying to mind my business. Usually the universal sign of I have earphones in means don't bother me, but that don't mean nothing to some of these people. So I can't stand the bus stop situation. People want to be having conversations, and this already is a creepy situation. Look at him. Look at how he looking at him with them eyes. Them's creepy eyes. This is why you don't be out here by yourself, children.
stared at me. There was something off about him. He seemed like he was either drunk or on drugs. He then asked,
When is the bus due?
I took out my earphones and said,
I think it's delayed because of the snow.
He stared at me for a while, then started mumbling to himself. He was really starting to creep me out, so I pretended to be on my phone. After a couple of minutes, I took another look. He'd moved closer to me. I looked away.
Back it up. Back it up. Don't get no closer to me. You look like you're funky. Get on back now. This is too. You know what? What do they have a time to? Can you call an Uber? I know taxis charge more, but at this point, I've already been out here for an hour. After an hour, fuck it. I'm paying the extra coin so I can get out this snow and get my ass home, get away from creepy ass man. Pay that taxi, pay that Uber, pay that Lyft.
Away for a second, then heard the sound of him sliding even closer.
Oh,
I turned to him and said,
You okay there?
He stared at me with glossy eyes, lifted his arm and leaned towards me. Immediately, I grabbed my bag and ran as he fell to the ground. I ran down the road, trying my hardest not to look back. I kept going until I got to the next bus stop. I turned around to check to see if he was there. He was gone, so I went to sit down. Feeling relieved, I rested my head on the back of the glass and waited for the bus.
Girl. That's it? Oh, shit.
I jolted and turned around to see the same guy staring at me through the...
Hell to the no. Hold on. Did you fall asleep, bitch? Did you just run for your life and then immediately fall asleep at the next bus stop mere feet away? Girl, you a special kind of stupid, okay? Kids, pay attention. This is what you're not supposed to do.
glass.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Then he started walking around the shelter towards me.
I'm warning you, stay back.
I yelled in panic as I was backing up.
Okay, so he has some kind of sense and spine. I need you to get like a stance, bring up like, hey, ba-da-ba, boom,
I wanted to run, but I left my bag in the shelter and I couldn't leave without it.
Man, fuck. Well, hold on, wait, I can't say fuck that bad. They may have your ID, your money in it. Then why did you leave it there? Girl. You upsetting me at this point.
Suddenly, the man leaped at me and I quickly moved out of
Oh,
the way.
shit!
He fell to the ground face first. I froze in shock, then noticed the blood coming from his face. I tried to get a response out of him, but
Kick
nothing
him.
worked. I called the police and paramedics and they arrived shortly after.
Kick him!
I told them what had happened and they told me that the guy was on prescription drugs. They found a photo in his wallet of him and his son. The boy looked just like me, so we assumed he thought I was him. I later learned that he had lost his son in a custody battle and went off the rails. He was taken away for treatment, and that was the last I saw of him. I got my driver's license shortly after, and have never been on a bus since.
Oh! Y'all saw that. Y'all saw that. Hold on. Wait. Y'all saw that? He talked about he ain't been on the bus since.
and have never been on a bus since.
You see that? You see that? I quite it. I quite it. I see that. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You know what? That's fine. But let's. That was a better one. That was a much better one than the first two little halfway short stories. So we gonna go to the very last video for this reaction, you guys. So I'll be right back. Okay, guys. So we are back for the last video of this particular reaction, a creepy Christmas time story. Now, usually the Christmas ones are a little bit more eerie, and Christmas is one of my favorite holidays. So I'm hoping that they don't scare me. Let's get into it.
It was November of 2006. I was a 16-year-old kid living in the town of Altoona, Iowa. I went to bed early one night because I had to work the early shift at McDonald's. As I slept, I had a dream that I was running through downtown Des Moines, but I wasn't on a jog. I was running from something. As I ran around the corner of a building, I came face to face with my pursuer. A tall man wearing a trench coat and a top hat stood in front of me. The only thing visible of his face was his eyes. They were abnormally large with black pupils, and it looked at me as if it wanted something. After what felt like hours, he reached out his bony hand, as if he wanted me to go with him. I woke up violently from my dream.
Stranger danger. Did you? Those kind of dreams be the scariest because, like, when you in it, it feels real as hell. And them nightmares, like, when you don't realize that it's a nightmare and you're just in it, like, you feel such relief when you wake up. You're like, oh.
And after catching my breath, I peered around my room to see if I was safe. As I stood up from my bed, I noticed that I could see my breath. Feeling confused, I checked my window. It was latched shut. I then walked over and checked my vent. I could still feel warm air coming from it. As I sat back down on my bed, I tried to figure out what exactly was going on. That's when the figure from my dream appeared at the foot of my bed.
Bitch, listen. Listen to me. If I ever go crazy and senile enough to have a nightmare such as this and wake up to see this googly-eyed bitch at the end of my bed, oh no, Lord, take me now. Just take me away, Jesus. Bring me on home, 'cause I can't be here no more. Hey, look at this. Oh, no, ma'am.
I scrambled back to my headboard.
What do you want?
I asked, trying to hide the shakiness in my
Bruh.
voice. With the same bony finger, it pointed at me.
Woo.
Growing up in a religious home, I believed what I was looking at was a demon. I told the creature to leave. It just waved its finger at me, and with a low voice, it spoke to me.
Never leave. Always here.
The creature then screamed loudly and disappeared. A feeling of nausea came over me, and I vomited on my floor. The last thing I remember was cleaning myself up and waking up to my alarm. It's been about a month since I had seen the top hat wearing man in my bedroom. The Christmas season was in full effect. My parents weren't home because they got invited to some kind of event, so it was only me and my 3 sisters at home. I had to wake up early in the morning for work, so I decided to go to sleep. I rested my head on my pillow and closed my eyes. Not even 30 seconds passed until my sisters burst into my room and started singing obnoxious songs. This of course made me very angry, but I thought if I ignored them that they would leave me alone. This was not the case. As I pulled the blankets over my head, I started to feel the same cold feeling that I had in November. As the obnoxious singing subsided,
Oh
I
shit.
lowered the blanket below my eyes and saw the man standing in the corner of my room.
Look, all right now. This the second time. Look, Muff. What's the tea? Cause this act of you coming and me seeing my breath is getting cold. It's about to get real old. What do you want? I ain't got the money. Okay. And if you want some other stuff, you're gonna have to pay for it. So I need to know what you want. Cause this about to get real old real fast.
In one swift motion, he charged towards me,
What,
and I blacked out.
bitch? No
When I finally
fucking ma'am. No fucking ma'am. That. Oh hell nah. Ooh, did y'all see that face? Mm-mm. I want to stop this shit right now and say thank y'all for watching. I didn't even go, oh shit. Okay. That was not cool. That was so not cool. Oh my god. Oh, okay. That shit was terrifying. Okay.
In one swift motion, he charged towards me, and I blacked out. When I finally came to, I found that my sisters had locked themselves inside the bathroom. As I knocked on the door, they told me to go away. I asked them what happened, and all they could say was Mom and Dad were on their way home. I looked down and saw that my hand was slightly bloody. Holes were in the bathroom door, and a broom was sticking out of the wall. I then walked into the living room and found that there were knives stuck into the wall as well. The same wave of nausea passed over me, just like in November, and I threw up again. As I was cleaning up, my parents walked through the door. My father immediately walked over to me and gave me a good beating. Then he sent me to my room. I went to bed crying.
He ain't asked no questions. He just he ain't asked your sisters no questions. He just started whooping ass. Was he drunk? He had to been drinking at this event. Cause you can't just see all type of shit like that. That's abnormal. You ain't but to see all that and they go ask no question. None? Nothing?
Not from the beating. I was crying because of the confusion. I had no idea what was going on. The next morning, my sisters reluctantly sat next to me and told me what had happened. They said I got angry and chased them down and tried to hurt them. They said my eyes were red to the point where they thought I was bleeding from them.
What
They
the
said
fuck?
I sounded like a different person. In 2011, that was the last time I saw the top hat wearing man. I just moved into a new apartment, and after a long, stressful day of unpacking, I took a shower and got ready for bed. As I started to drift off, I could feel that cold feeling again. I lifted my head and saw the man standing in front of me.
Sis. What more do you want from me?
The man's eyes were red now. With a low voice, just like on that November night, it looked at me and said,
Never leave. Always here.
Fuck does that supposed to mean? You never leaving, or are you telling me never to leave? Girl, that man's eyes were red. Looked like he'd been smoking the ganja. I can't. We over here being haunted by the weed man. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. That shit, that shit right there. That was some wild shit. That was some wild ass shit. Okay, but thank y'all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Um, if you like this video, share it, give it a thumbs up. Uh, hit the little bell on the if you child, I got disorientated from all that. Anywho, let me get my mind back right. Thank y'all so much for watching. Please thumbs up the video if you enjoyed. If you're new here and you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Jamar. Uh, I hope you subscribe to the channel if you're new. My social media links should all be in the bottom. Please sure to follow me across all social media platforms. And I appreciate everybody who, supported the series and supporting my slow return back to the YouTube space. It's been a good time. So, I'll catch you guys next time in the next reaction video. Bye bye.